Shout out to my mom, man. She used to go and pay for a ticket and come into the venue with us and stand in the back so that me and my buddies could go and watch Saves the Day. So props to her. She was actually the one. Remember the first time I saw Saves the Day, Cancel Down had just come, or Cancel Down was out. I think Through Being Cool was, they're promoting it, but I don't think it was out yet. And my mom, like, while they were on, went and bought the CD and a shirt for me because she was like, "Oh, these guys are great."
That's
like,
awesome.
Sure enough, like that was one of my favorite. That kind of turned me from, at the time I was listening to like more punk and a little bit more hardcore stuff, but like when Saves the Day came out, I was like, oh, like after, like you can do pop punk again and it's kind of cool, like but different. And so like kind of pulled me back into, I don't know, that was like, yeah, probably the record that did it for me.
It's funny that you mentioned your parents like bringing you to shows. I guess it goes to show how oblivious my mom was. Like, I grew up on Long Island, and I would literally just hop on the train and go into New York City and go to like Hammerstein Ballroom, and I'm 14 years old, and I'd be like, "Mom, I'm just going to a show," and she would have like no idea that I'd be in Manhattan.
That is the difference, I think, between Long Island and upstate.
Yeah.
It's like we felt like it was farm country where I was from. Like it felt like we were in the middle of nowhere. Like we felt completely disconnected from the city. Meanwhile, I was only like an hour and a half away, but far enough that, yeah, that would never be feasible for us.
See, I think the difference about like Long Island versus like taking Amtrak or Metro North is that every town basically on Long Island has its own train station.
Yeah.
So like literally my hometown had a train station where we could just park down the road from where I lived and jump on a train and go into like the biggest city in the world. And like we would do that when we were in 8th grade. I remember the first time I just like hopped on a train with my friends and went into the city by myself. It was 8th grade.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely wild.
Yeah. I would kill my kids if they did that.
Yeah. Like I remember like I told my mom I wanted to go see like Taking Back Sunday, and it was like Angels and Airwaves, and it was like the Make Damn Sure tour that they were like promoting. I told my mom was like real iffy about like me driving, like because it was like a 2.5-hour drive to get there, and I was like, no, I'll just take the metro, I'll hop on the tri-rail, and then I could just like, you know, have a friend pick me up and just drive me over to the venue. And she was like, absolutely not. So she would just drive me, and she would just take me all the way over there, like 2.5 hours out of the way, just to be able to for me to catch a show and go see some girl I liked on MySpace.
The best times in life.
It really was.
So yeah, I mean, moms are the unsung hero of the emo scene, I think. Just being like the demographic that most bands are at from our genre, just, you know, looking at it was, you know, middle class white kids in their basements or garages playing music and driving to shows in their mom's minivan, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, you know, having that support. I don't know. I feel like for me and my friends, like having that support was awesome for us. But I also know that people that didn't have the same support, who have worked harder to get to where they are, you know, because of that chip on their shoulder. So I don't know. I don't know if moms are, you know, really the unsung heroes of the emo scene. But for me personally, like my mom was like the one, like it happened because of my mom.
We need to do a Mother's Day compilation.
Yeah, put this on here, Mom. It's all because of you. But I do remember, though, we were playing a VFW show, and we used to put on these VFW shows in our town, and this was in high school, and our buddy would rent out the room, and we would all just collect $5 at the door from each person that came in, and the bands would just split it. But my mom came to one of those shows, and it was when we were in high school still. Dan had just joined the band, because before that, he wasn't in it, and I was just the singer.
Yeah.
So he joined the band, and it was like the first time we were playing a show as the new band, which ended up being Just Surrender.
Yeah.
But my mom watched the show, and at the end of the show, I remember her coming up and just being like, "So you're not going to college then, I guess?" And I was like, "No, I mean, I thought we could try this out." And she was like, "Okay."
That's
like,
so validating.
Yeah, and like honestly, I don't think I ever thought before that moment that was an option.
Yeah.
Like I probably just thought like, oh, I'll do the band stuff for now, and then my parents are going to make me go to college, and while I'm there, I'll play at the cafe and stuff and whatever. It never had crossed my mind to not go to college and she was the one who kind of put that idea in my head and just kind of gave me the green light. Like, and I think I was 16 at the time, so I had already known at 16, like, this is my path. This is what I'm going to do. I have my mom behind me. It doesn't matter what dad says. It doesn't matter what anyone at school says. My mom said it's cool.
That's incredible. I mean, that's such like an empowering feeling, just knowing that like they just saw you play and she was immediately just like, yeah, like I think this is what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, and it was validating in the sense that it made me feel really, really proud of what we were doing, but
Yeah.
also like I can't imagine doing that for my child. Just giving me like she just gave me the freedom. She just was I don't know. She took it out of my hands. Like she didn't make me have that conversation where I wanted to be like, hey, like listen, I think I want to do it. She just saw it, saw what was going on, knew from watching me on stage and how I was feeling and reacting to everything. Like okay, like I gotta tell him this is cool, and she did, and yeah.
And shout out to her because also like touring in the early 2000s is
Awful.
completely different than what it's like now. Like literally you would have to print out like MapQuest directions for all your dates and you would have like a binder, especially you guys toured extensively. If you did like a 30-day, date tour, you would have probably a binder with like 150 pages in it of where you needed to go and whatnot. And like those MapQuest directions were awful to follow. You guys probably got lost all the time.
Yep.